Hi everyone, I'm Denise.
And I'm Georgie.
And we're the Happy Vegan Couple with another cooking video. What do we got today, Georgie?
Today we have tofu sticks, and the best part of it is they're baked and they're oil-free.
And you made a good sauce, right?
Oh yeah, I made a sauce made of pickles, cashew cheese, and a little bit of mustard for tanginess to dip the tofu sticks in or put on top. It's great.
Delicious. And you know, the reason we figured out this recipe is because we had something very similar at one of our favorite restaurants here in Tucson, Arizona before COVID, and that was Govinda's. It's a little Hare Krishna restaurant in Tucson, and they made these tofu sticks. They actually call them tofu fish sticks. I'd rather leave the fish word out and just call them tofu sticks. And they even made them for me when it was my birthday one year because I really enjoyed them. And so then Georgie figured out how to make them, but we're making them oil-free. They use a little oil. So we're baking them and for our preferences. So I just want to mention one other thing. I recently just saw a new study shared that soy is protective against dementia. So we already know soy is protective against breast cancer and prostate cancer. It's got so many good benefits to eat soy. We always buy the organic, of course, GMO-free soy. But anyways, we hope you enjoyed this video and will want to add this recipe to your repertoire. Are we ready?
I'm ready. You're not going to get enough of these. They're so good.
Yeah. Okay. Tofu sticks coming up.
Okay everyone, let's get started on my tofu sticks. First thing I did was I preheated my oven to 450. I want to tell you how I make my breadcrumbs. We use Dave's Killer Bread, 21 grains and seeds, and I take 8 slices and I cut the crust off of the 8 slices. Then I lay them in a baking tray such as this, and you can see the way they look as they go in, kind of square looking. I will bake them at 185 for 2 hours. And every 30 minutes, I'll turn the bread just so that it dries out pretty equally. There's another way you can do it at 300 degrees for 55 minutes, and you take them out and they should be dry enough, and that would be great for this recipe. The same difference, you're gonna get the crunchiness of your bread and everything. So once I did that, I wanna show you how the texture is. There's no give or anything, and it just cracks like a cracker. You hear that? That's the texture you want. So what I do with the next step is I take my blender, and you can do this in a regular blender. It might take a little bit longer to blend it. I just take the bread crumbs or the bread cuts that I did, and I break them up into the blender. You hear that crunchiness? That's what you want. If you have a piece that doesn't have that crunch, don't put it in there because it'll be too moist. So then we'll put it up here. Get this out of the way.
And I'm just going to clarify, Georgie, that you enjoy making your breadcrumbs at the lower temperature. You just like it better. You feel when you do a quick bake at a high temperature, it gets a little more toasty. You don't enjoy it as much. But people can do whatever they like, or you can, of course, go to the store, and if you want, go buy some whole wheat breadcrumbs if you don't want to make them. Yeah. But we make them because we like the bread we use. The organic whole wheat bread's got great fiber, so that's why we make our own, and you prefer the slower bakes. I just wanted to clarify that.
Here's the good thing, too. If you're a single person and you buy a loaf of bread, it only lasts so long. So this is a good way to conserve your extra bread, that you don't eat. You can make it into breadcrumbs and store it in the freezer, and it'll last quite a while, So what I do next is I just put it in like I said, you can do a regular blender or the Vitamix like we have. Vitamix is easier because it's just powerful. Turn it on. Pulse a little bit to get the big pieces down. And what you want is a coarse cornmeal type texture. There's still some big pieces. That's what's jumping around. I think that might be about right. Can you see the texture in there?
Uh-huh.
It's still coarse. Okay, that's our cornmeal.
You mean your breadcrumbs?
I mean my breadcrumbs. Let me put that in there. As you can see, it's still, oh, there's a big piece that you don't need to worry about. But I mean, you can see that it's got a cornmeal texture to it. Okay? So let's put that one in here because it's easier to shake it. Okay, then I'm going to tell you my ingredients for this. We use Trader Joe's high protein organic tofu. It's really firm. It's a good texture for this, what we're making. You can use other ones. This is the one we prefer.
So as long as you get a firm, just try to get as extra firm as you can. That's
Right.
what we would say.
Yeah, because the silken tofu, that type of thing wouldn't really work with this.
Right, but even this kind of tofu in a softer version is not as good. You
Right,
want
right.
it to be as firm as you can get it.
Yes. Then we have the organic soy milk, unsweetened, of course. Tamari, lemon juice, nori seasoning, nori
And that's the
sheets.
that it
And
comes
this is
from.
one sheet, and what I did was I used 2 of these sheets to make up the 2 tablespoons. And what I did is I took this, crumbled it up, put it in my blender, and just turned it on to make this texture here, like a coarse pepper. That's all.
Okay.
That's going to give us an umami flavor. Is that how you say it?
Unami.
Unami.
Uh-huh.
Then we have our paprika, salt, and pepper.
Or actually a little fishy taste, as
Fishy
we
taste,
talked
yeah.
about earlier.
Right, because, I mean, you think about it, when you swallow ocean water, it's kind of fishy, right?
It's got the seaweed taste.
Okay, so our next step, like I said, we use this Trader Joe's high protein tofu, and I just open it up, and I take this out, and I drain the water out.
And one reason we like this tofu, besides it being very, very firm, there's not much water actually to press out. Many
Right.
other brands of tofu that I've used in the past, there's a lot more water to press, but not this one.
Right. So I just take it in a paper towel and wrap it in the paper towel. This is 3 of those half sheets of paper towel. And I'll just set it down and squeeze it. Because you want some moisture. Okay, wet it pretty good.
And now you're going to show how you cut this tofu block for our tofu sticks.
And you can see it's a pretty good shaped block. Sometimes they get all ugly and everything. But what I'll do is I'll turn it this way and just cut it in half.
So we're kind of doing it in half from around on the long edge, like
Right.
horizontal.
Then you take and you just do 1/2-inch cuts, if you want to see here, just like that. Nice and easy so you don't break it apart. The reason I do on the shorter side, because if you cut it this way, your sticks are going to be too long and they might break when you're putting through all this mixture and everything.
You do such a nice cut.
Okay, so we got 2, 4, 6, 8. We got 19 cuts out of that one block, so that's 19 sticks we're gonna have. Unless they fall apart. So then we'll put them over here to the side. Okay everyone, the next step, we're gonna put the dry mix together, which is my breadcrumbs, my nori, paprika, salt, and pepper. Mix that up. Get a good mixture here. Next is going to be my wet mix, which is soy milk, tamari, lemon juice. Mix that up. This is what we're going to dip our tofu into before we put it into the dry mix. So, get rid of these guys. Put this over to the side. Okay, here we go. Tofu stick in the liquid. Same thing. You want to try to keep one hand wet, one hand dry. Shake it up. Oop, broke off. Nice and easy. See there? Gonna go ahead and put 2 in here. One hand wet, one hand dry. There you go.
And the reason why you're doing one-handed, or you could do two-handed if you wanted, is if you were going to stick your hand in the wet and then stick it in the dry, you said it gets too messy, right?
Right.
That's why you're shaking
yes, my
it.
fingers are wet, but I'm grabbing the stick that is on top. So I'm not drenching the dry goods as I'm putting in the wet.
Right, but if somebody didn't feel real confident with shaking, then you're suggesting they might use their other hand
Right.
when they're
And
dipping
we will
it in
do
the dry.
This way, in and out. In, a little bit of liquid, and out. Oh. It's like you have to pay attention to what you're doing. Dry or wet into dry.
So it goes pretty fast.
Yeah.
And then of course we like using these silicone pads. You could use parchment paper. You know, that's a great way, so it's non-stick and you don't need any oil.
And you don't want a lot of moisture on your tofu when you're bringing it out. Kind of shake it off a little bit. As you can see, I kind of use the wet one to take it out, but I don't really put too much moisture into it.
So I'll just mention, if somebody's watching this video and you haven't watched our other videos before where we talk about making things with soy, just want to let everybody know what we always tell everybody. The research on soy shows that it is very protective against hormonal-based cancers like breast cancer, ovarian cancer, prostate cancer. So any people who are thinking that, oh my gosh, I shouldn't eat soy, it's going to cause cancer, that is not what the research shows anymore.
Okay, there's our tofu sticks. Straighten them up a little bit. Don't want them touching. We're going to go ahead and put these in the oven for about 30-35 minutes. I've already got the oven going.
And do you need to flip them over or no?
About halfway through, if you want, flip them over. It'll make them a little bit crunchier on both sides.
Both sides, okay.
Yeah, I would recommend that. So we'll come back and show you what they look like.
Well, we're going to make our sauce next.
Yes, we're going to make our sauce next, but I'm going to put these in the oven because I'm getting hungry.
Okay, sounds good, Georgie.
Okay, everyone, let's get started on my sauce for my tofu sticks. First ingredient, there's only 3 ingredients to the sauce. There's pickles, cashew cheese, mustard, yellow mustard. And if you'd like to go to our YouTube channel, you can watch a video on how I make our cashew cheese. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take my pickles and chop them up. You want them to be about little sizes of pickle relish. These are not going to be sweet, but okay. We'll put that in our bowl. Then we're going to go with our cashew cheese. That's about a third of or half a cup.
Looks like a little overfilling, half a cup.
Well, with this, you just
Doesn't matter.
If it's too tangy, then you add a little bit more mustard. Or if it's not tangy enough, you add a little bit more mustard. Then we're going to go with a couple tablespoons of mustard.
I think you've got 3 tablespoons of mustards on the recipe. Georgie?
I'm sorry?
3 tablespoons were on the recipe. I think you put 2 in. Uh-huh.
I put 2. Well, let's do 2 and see what it tastes like. Because with this recipe, you can do it as you want your taste buds to say. Let's see what this tastes like. Take this. Actually, I think 2 tablespoons is going to be good for my taste buds right now. If you'd like, you can put more mustard into it, but that's our sauce already. Quick and easy. So we'll come on back and we'll show you what everything's done together.
Okay.
Okay, everyone, here's the finished product, my tofu sticks and the tangy sauce to go with them. I'm gonna go ahead and grab one because I'm pretty hungry after cooking this. I'm gonna put some sauce on top. What do you think? Huh?
Okay, one lone little tofu stick. But we got a lot to eat after this.
I can't wait. You're gonna love them, Denise. They're delicious. I hope everyone tries my recipe and enjoys it as much as we do. Okay?
Okay, Georgie. Good job. Well, we hope you enjoyed watching Georgie make that yummy recipe. And you know what? If you're new to the whole food plant-based lifestyle and maybe you haven't had that much experience with soy yet, we think this would be a great recipe for you to start with. You know, it's pretty easy to make, as you can see, and then you got that nice little tangy sauce. And by the way, if you haven't made cashew cheese spread yet and you actually want a demonstration of it, check out our video on Happy Vegan Couple. Just look for something that says cashew cheese spread, okay? And then you can watch him make it. But we hope you'll enjoy it.
These tofu sticks are great. You can just take them on a picnic if you want. Serve them with some onion rings or some potato wedges directly out of the oven, nice and warm and hot. You're gonna love them. Even cold, they are good. I take them out of the fridge and dip them in my sauce and they're just great. I think it's a wonderful recipe, so I hope you enjoyed it.
Right, the picnic, of course, would be not right out of the oven. That would be when it's cold, right?
Let's do it in the backyard.
Well, you know, who knows?
Sure.
All right, everybody, until next time, I'd just like to remind you, if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead, hit the little notification bell, and do us a favor. Send our video to one of your friends. Let them know about the Happy Vegan Couple. We would surely appreciate it.
Definitely.
Until next time, I'm Denise.
Georgie.
And we're the Happy Vegan Couple. Go plant-based. Bye-bye.
Bye.